Hello everyone, it's Royal Rock here. And the next topic I'm going to talk about is ascending. As you can see what I said in my previous videos, doing all of those things and follow them the way that you feel comfortable with will eventually take you to the ascending level. Um, Ascending is a beautiful thing because you start to see all the work that you've put in and you've applied and digested and let marinate inside your soul and your spirit. Um, you start to see yourself growing, growing at a pace that you feel comfortable with. Um, Ascending is a beautiful thing because it takes you out of uh, the box per se. You're actually literally like leaving the box, and this could be a very beautiful thing because you start to see what levels you're moving at and where you're going, and you start to believe and trust into your inner self and the inner path that you decided to choose a lot more. You start realizing that I'm ascending, and you're like, wow, this thing is really real. This is a real thing. And you start to, your faith, your believing, it gets stronger. But not only that, you start to know. You start to, based off of the proper steps that you have taken, you start to know that this is a real path that you chose to take. Ascending it's like you're growing and you're not physically elevating or have wings on, but spiritually, you mentally, you feel that way. You feel that that you're levitating and you're on this other level that most people are just not at. And this is a great self-realization for individuals that's choosing this path to enlightenment. This is a thing comprised of all the information that you've decided to study, and it's like you try new things. You realize that you can't ascend if you're just stuck on this particular thing, which you can go far on this particular thing, but you only can go so far. When you step outside and you realize, okay, I know a lot, but I don't know a lot. And when you realize that you don't know a lot, you start to see that you start getting into other works, to other things that correlate with what you have already resonated with, are comfortable with, but you're adding that to your growth, and you start to see that you start to ascend, you start growing at a great rate. You have to try new things. You have to challenge yourself per se. When you listen to people like me, there may be other enlightened workers. There may be other people that are about helping people grow their light, their inner light. These are just like guides. These are like chapters in your path. They're going to help you take those proper steps. But then when you start ascending, you start following your intuition. You start following, uh, those things. You may have a good voice on one side, bad voice on another side. But you start hearing things at a more heightened rate. It's like having a clairvoyancy and having a clairaudience. You start realizing there's much more to you just studying. Is that you're actually moving into these realms of the supernatural. Yes, it's shocking. It could be scary, but it's really not. It's just you following your inner things that you've always had. It's just been dormant or it's been suppressed, and you're starting to recapture that and realize that this has always been with you, and it's going to help you elevate to a whole another state. And you start realizing that this path is remarkable. You're not alone at all. Far from it. That's just part of the process of you going through that development. It's actually a beautiful thing. It's pretty, I wouldn't say it's esoteric, but it is esoteric in these times, which it cannot be. It can be where a lot of people can know this. But in ancient times, people have talked about these things, but we kind of consider it as mythology or fantasy. But when you start really ascending, you start seeing that these things are far more than just somebody trying to debunk it. These things are actually real self-realizations. And it's great that you write these things down, so you can backtrack on it and get a better view of what is going about in your process, in your journey. And you can look back on it and you can start getting a better, clear view of where you were, where you're at, and where you're going. But when it pertains to ascending, it's not really what happened in the past or the future. It's about right now. It's about you ascending now, and then you using that clairvoyancy, realizing your clairaudience and your pineal right here, your sixth sense, which is beyond the five senses, is going to take you to a whole another realm. And this is the beauty of ascending. We all have it. It's just that I challenge you to take that route. I would recommend that you look into this route first. It's good if you jump all in. It could be a lot to take, but look into it first and see that this is a realm of infinite possibilities. It really is. And I've been doing that these past couple months, and I wouldn't call it heaven on earth, but I would say that's a good comparison, because you start looking around and you start realizing that there is, there's not, in this Western society, there's not a lot of people that know of this, and that you are fortunate. You know, you are a chosen one, to even be invited to walk this, to come in this path. And that's only going to help your soul spirit grow. And, you know, the soul is immortal. You know, your body goes, but your soul is immortal. And when you keep uplifting your spirit and your soul, then you start going into these things. It's going to help your inner self grow beautifully. Well, all right, everyone. I'm out of here. I enjoyed talking to you guys. And, you know, continue to follow my, my videos. And, you know, I would really like to get some feedback. You know, if there's people out there that have it. But if not, you know, I'm going to keep dropping these videos. And I'm going to keep getting this message out. Because I feel that this is something that needs to be done. And something I really enjoy doing. So until next time, people, ascend. Take your ascending level to the next level. Trusting your inner self. All right, I'm out of here.